Let's get real. Masturbation in itself isn't evil. For centuries, it's been viewed as a natural part of human development and exploration. In moderation, it can be harmless, even beneficial. Masturbation helps release built-up sexual tension, can improve sleep, and offers a temporary sense of relief from stress. It also maintains the reproductive system by keeping sperm fresh and stimulating the prostate. For many, it serves as a private way to explore their body and their pleasure. But there's a thin line between release and routine. And for a growing number of men today, especially in the porn-saturated digital world, that line has been violently crossed. It usually starts innocently, once every now and then. But over time, it creeps in, twice a day, then 3. Every morning before work, every night before sleep. It becomes the invisible ritual, a silent addiction no one talks about. The hand reaches for the pants before the brain even processes what it's doing. You're not chasing pleasure anymore. You're chasing numbness. You're not doing it because you're excited or aroused. You're doing it because without it, you feel empty, anxious, incomplete. It becomes a drug, a way to escape boredom, loneliness, rejection, and emotional pain. Masturbation becomes less about relief and more about survival. You're not touching yourself to feel good. You're touching yourself because you've forgotten how to feel at all. As the habit deepens, shame starts to creep in. You close tabs in panic. You clean up quickly. You promise yourself it'll be the last time. But then the urge returns, like clockwork. And the more you give in, the more powerless you feel. It's not about lust anymore, it's about coping. Masturbation becomes the band-aid for emotional wounds you haven't addressed. Over time, you're not just numbing your feelings, you're damaging your body, your confidence, and your relationship with real intimacy. What you're really doing to your penis isn't a machine, it's a complex organ, both vascular and neurological. It relies on 3 things to function properly: healthy blood vessels for circulation, sensitive and intact nerve endings for arousal and sensation, and unconditioned arousal, meaning the ability to become turned on by natural human intimacy and touch, not just mechanical stimulation or artificial content. But frequent, intense masturbation slowly begins to compromise all 3. When you masturbate excessively, especially in isolation, using a tight grip and with intense speed, you're applying more force than the organ is designed to handle. Inside the shaft are thousands of microcapillaries and small veins responsible for maintaining blood flow during arousal. Over time, this constant pressure can tear or damage those capillaries, leading to microtrauma. These tears don't heal overnight. They leave behind hardened scar tissue that can affect elasticity and responsiveness. One of the biggest consequences is something called venous leakage, a condition where blood enters the penis but doesn't stay there, leading to weak or short-lived erections. Additionally, overstimulation from tight, rapid strokes desensitizes the nerves at the tip, especially the glands, the most sensitive part. The result? Reduced sensitivity, delayed ejaculation, and muted orgasms. Sex with a real partner feels bland, underwhelming. Not because of them, but because your penis has been conditioned to respond to only one type of stimulation, your own death grip. Death grip syndrome, as it's often referred to in online recovery communities like NoFap, isn't a joke. It's real. And it's rising. More and more men are reporting that they feel less during sex, that they need more extreme forms of stimulation just to climax, and that their bodies don't respond the way they used to. And often, this spiral begins with a seemingly harmless habit, masturbation, fapping. When masturbation becomes self-harm. If masturbation is the doorway, fapping is the full-on breakdown. Fapping is masturbation taken to the extreme. Fast, furious, and without care or presence. There's no build-up, no connection, no emotional awareness. It's mechanical, it's aggressive. You grip your penis like it's an object, something to be beaten into submission. No lube, no mindfulness, just pressure, force, and urgency. It's a frantic attempt to reach climax as quickly as possible. But that rush comes at a cost. The body doesn't forget this violence. Over time, the skin can become irritated. The underlying veins and tissues take a beating, literally. The brain, meanwhile, becomes more and more reliant on this style of stimulation. It no longer associates arousal with a person, a touch, or emotional connection. Instead, it links arousal with intense pressure, pornographic fantasy, and complete control. The more you fap, the more you disconnect from real-world pleasure. And when the time comes to be with a real person, you're unable to perform, unable to connect, and sometimes even unable to feel. Take Marcus, 27, for example, a real story, echoed by thousands more. He fapped for years, especially when under stress. It became his escape. He said, "When I finally had sex, I felt almost nothing. I had to pretend to enjoy it. I couldn't feel her. I couldn't climax." His partner thought something was wrong with her, but the truth was, his nerves had been damaged, and his penis had been trained to respond only to aggressive self-stimulation. His case is not rare. Clinics and therapists are now reporting spikes in porn-induced erectile dysfunction, PIED, and sexual anhedonia, the inability to derive pleasure from sex, in men as young as 19 and 21. The heartbreaking part is that this damage is often invisible. No one sees it. You look normal, you smile, you walk through life pretending everything's fine. But inside, there's shame, anxiety, and the terrifying question, what if I broke myself permanently? How masturbation changes your brain. Now here's the part people really underestimate. Masturbation doesn't just affect your body, it rewires your brain. Every time you masturbate, especially to pornography, you release dopamine, the powerful chemical behind motivation and reward. That rush feels incredible at first. It's why you return to it. But the brain is smart. It adapts. It builds tolerance. Over time, the same video won't give the same rush. So you go deeper. More hardcore porn, more tabs open, more fetishes, more extreme content. You escalate and escalate and escalate, chasing a high that never quite hits like it did in the beginning. Eventually, real-life touch, like a warm hug, foreplay, or passionate kissing, doesn't light up your brain the way porn does. You feel bored, disengaged, uninterested. This is dopamine desensitization. Your brain's pleasure system is hijacked. A 2014 study from Cambridge University showed that frequent porn users had the same brain response patterns as drug addicts. That means you're not just changing what you like sexually. You're literally changing how your brain interprets reward, excitement, and satisfaction. It stops valuing real people. It stops responding to normal stimulation. You become disconnected, not just from your partner, but from your own emotional and physical desires. The cost no one talks about. Let's go beyond the physical. Masturbation and fapping addiction rob you of more than just sensitivity. They steal your confidence, your ability to connect emotionally, your drive and ambition, your ability to delay gratification. You become a slave to the urge. Sneaking off at work, struggling to focus, feeling ashamed after every release. It's not just hurting your body, it's stealing your soul. Can you recover? Yes, but you must reset. Here's the truth. The damage isn't permanent if you act now. Here's how to begin your reset. Stop fapping. Go 30 days clean, then 60, then 90. Delete the porn. Block it. Burn the bridge. Use cold showers. They help reduce urges and improve blood flow. Exercise. Lift weights. Run. Let your testosterone return. Journal your triggers. Get to the emotional root. Practice real intimacy, not just sex, but conversation, connection, and affection. 1. Thousands of men have walked this path. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Here's what nobody tells you. Every time you fap, you're reinforcing isolation. Every time you grip your penis harder than any human touch could, you're teaching your body to reject real intimacy. You're trading connection for control. And in that trade, you lose everything. But today, you can start over. You can choose discipline. You can choose healing. You can choose freedom. If this spoke to your soul, share it with someone silently struggling. Let's help each other fight back, because your manhood is worth saving. And your future? It's waiting on the other side of your self-control.